Well, hello everybody. So I'm going to talk for a little bit. So this is going to be something a little different. This is something I've been researching actually for several weeks, and I've set it aside and I've come back to it a couple months later, and guess what? My findings are actually, you might find kind of interesting. In fact, my findings, and they're not my research results, they're just, well, they are. They're my research results, but they're not my test results. So these are from Consumer Reports, engine automotive experts. So this is something that might appeal more to the guys than the ladies. But I think it's something interesting to note. And if ladies, if you're in the audience and you listen in and you want to share this with your husband, or you want to take this information and be like, you know what, I think I'm going to check that out. Please don't take my word for it. You can go and research it for yourself, and it's real easy to research. There's so much stuff. There's even videos that will just talk to you, and you can be like, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And there's a lot of things I didn't know. So what we're going to talk about are gasolines or fuels. We're going to touch on diesel as well. Excuse me. So what I want to talk about, though, is the top tier fuels and the more discounted fuel outsources. And we're going to go over, I got a whole bunch of examples. So forgive me if I'm looking down because I've got a whole bunch of notes. And there's a lot of information, so I had to take some notes. So I wanted to make sure I kind of got all the points. And as you know, if you've watched the videos, I like to take notes. Just because, you know, sometimes in front of the camera you get in a space and you're like, oh, I don't remember what I was going to say. And I can always look down and go, yeah, let me just go here. So I'm just going to kind of ad-lib this. This is not a professional production or anything. But we're talking about fuel. So what kind of fuel? Where do you buy your fuel? I often, and I'm gonna show what I did. I typically have gravitated, when I had a Sam's Club membership, I would of course buy fuel at Sam's Club because Sam's Club was cheaper. It's cheaper, but it requires a membership. Costco is the same way. It's cheaper, but it requires a membership. And the problem with where we live now is that we're an hour away from either one of those. We don't have one in our town, and it's not really in our normal travel. Another thing wrong with those club memberships for us is that when we are traveling, it's usually diesel, and not all of those sites have diesel. You can go to a Sam's Club or to a Costco and get great prices, and oftentimes they don't have diesel. So there's a limited number of stations, and so that just doesn't really work out for us anymore. I did do it for a while in Florida when we had a Sam's Club membership, and it was about 30 minutes to the Sam's Club, but we were going into Gainesville anyway and buying other things, mostly Lowe's, and Sam's Club's right across the street, so it was convenient. But now it's not so convenient. It's twice as far away, and it's just not in our travels. So I'm going to go on down this list. So what we're talking about here are fuel additives. And there is a thing called top tier fuels. Top tier fuels are, these are gas stations that go above and beyond the EPA, standards. So all gas outlets must meet a minimum EPA standard for detergents and cleaning of your engine. However, that's not a high standard. It's a very low threshold to meet. So you do have some top tier gas stations, and I already know what some of you are thinking. You're like, you're talking about the expensive gas stations. And you'll be surprised to find that the expense is actually an investment in your engine. Now, if you're the type of person that uses a car for 2 years and trades it in or sells it, then it's probably not going to matter to you. But if you're someone like me that gets a car that they like and they keep it for at least 4 or 5 years, that Jeep is 12 years old. The Miata is new to us, but it's a 21 model, but I'm going to probably keep that thing forever. I just love the fuel economy. I'm getting 40 to 42 miles per gallon on that car. You can't beat that. The motorcycle barely beats it. It gets about 45 miles per gallon. So it's great. I love it. I love driving it, and it's fuel efficient. But let's not get off topic. I do that sometimes, so when I do that, just poke me. We're going to get back on this. So top tier gas stations have more detergent additives added to them. So when the EPA standards, there was a higher standard, and then when they lowered that standard, the big three automakers, Ford, Chevy, I think Toyota's included in there, and a couple others, they got together and said, this is not really good for the engines. I think we demand a higher standard, and so they came out with this, what they call top tier. And you can identify a top tier, well, you can also Google search it, but you can identify a top tier gas station by the top tier logo that's somewhere on the pump. Sometimes it's on the pump handle, it's on top of the pump handle, or it's right on the front of the pump. And it kind of looks like two owl eyes like this, and it says top tier. But top tier gas stations typically produce their own gas, and so they add their own additives. And here are the statistics, and they're pretty alarming. A top tier fuel in your car will reduce the carbon buildup on your valves and on your fuel injectors 19%. That's 19%. In fact, there is one or two, I'll even say three top tier gas stations that will even reverse the buildup of carbon on those vital engine components. They keep your car running, not only keep it running, but keep it running efficiently, because fuel mileage too. So if you're buying cheaper gas, you might be saving a little bit at the pump, but you're going to be paying for it on less efficient fuel mileage. So instead of getting maybe 21 miles per gallon over time, over a couple of years, you maybe start getting 19 miles per gallon. I mean, and that is costing you money. You got the discount up front, but you're paying for it on the back end. Or God forbid you have to go and get a rebuild, a top end rebuild, clean your valves, your carbon buildup and your piston rings and all of that, then that's going to cost you a bunch of money. So what I'm saying is the experts are saying, not Brett is saying, the experts are saying that it is a small investment to buy a top tier gas. I'm going to tell you which ones I like. I'm going to also tell you which ones the experts like first. And that's more important, what the experts like, and I'll tell you which one I chose and why I chose it. Okay, so getting into these lower tier gas stations, the ones that we typically would use, if we haven't been members of those clubs for a couple years now, so we don't shop there, we can't shop there. So what we do is we've been using the Murphy's or the Walmart, which there is a Walmart gas station and there's also a Murphy's. Usually it's close to the Walmart. Murphy's has an app. It's Go Drive or something. We have the app. We both do it. And you once a week you can hit the go and it'll vroom vroom, and it's kind of neat to watch, and it runs the tally, and you can get anywhere between 5 and 25 points. And when you get 100 points, now this is weekly, once a week. When you get 100 points, you get 10 cents off per gallon at the pump. So, and that's free. You don't have to buy anything to accumulate those points. Where Kroger, you have to go into the store and you have to buy groceries, which you're buying anyway. But then you get fuel reward points, and then you redeem those points for a discount. That's how a lot of them work. But with the Murphys, you didn't have to buy anything to get those points. You don't have to go shop in Walmart to get those points. And plus our credit card would actually, in addition to the points that you save, it would also reward you. You could cash out some reward points through your credit card and get like $10 off if you got 10 gallons. But anyway, so what we're doing, so it sounds like I'm advocating for the gas. You can get the gas a lot cheaper. You can. Right now, in fact, I'll get to that at the end because it's going to shock you. These are some of the gas stations, and I'm just going to list them. And you're going to be like, oh, man, that's not true. I don't believe what he's saying, blah, blah, blah. Go look it up. Go look it up because I got all of this online. This is Consumer Reports videos. These are other videos. Some of them are YouTube videos for mechanics. But I collaborate them. I don't listen to one. I listen to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. And sometimes I hone in on specific things that I want them to talk about. And they're all kind of saying the same thing. Now, if there was one that had a varying opinion or whatever, I threw that out. I didn't include that in my notes because it could be true, it could be an opinion. So this is based on, I like the Consumer Report stuff. I like when the experts talk. I like when the auto manufacturers talk. That's my source. So these are some of the gas stations that are cheaper, but you probably should think twice about putting that in your engine, because you're allowing the fuel is less quality. It's not top tier. Arco, there's not too many of those. I don't see a whole lot of those, but Arco is one of them. Safeway gas stations, Sam's Club. These are ones you want to try to avoid. Circle K post 2019. Now I say that because Circle K used to be top tier, and then they changed. So they go to a third-party supplier now, which means they bid out to the lowest bidder to get their gas, and you don't know what brand it is. So the quality of gas from station to station is not going to be standardized. It's not going to be consistent. So that's Circle K post 2019. So if you went to Circle K years ago, you're probably okay. But the newer Circle 19s have gone cheap with the gas. And I'm a Circle K fan. I even got the Easy Pay for Circle K, and now I'm like, I'm not going to use it. So anyway, moving on. I did mention Murphy and Walmart. Next is Speedway. Speedway was actually bought out by 7-Eleven, or 7-Eleven bought out Speedway. I can't remember which way that went. But basically, Speedway and 7-Eleven are the same thing. Both of them terrible gas. In fact, they've been in lawsuits. You can go research that too. These are ones that might surprise you though. Those are kind of discount gas stations, and everybody kind of, okay, I'm getting lower quality gas, but you know, gas is gas. It doesn't really matter. I think it does matter, especially if you're going to keep your car and you want it to run efficient. You want to keep getting 40 miles per gallon. Here's three that might surprise you. Flying J, everybody likes them. They're big, they're convenient. If you own a motorhome, they're easy to get in and get out. So if you're a camper, you're thinking, I love the Flying J's, I love the Pilots, I love Love's Truck Stop. All of these have terrible gas, and they have lawsuits on them. They've had lawsuits, and they've had to settle out because of contaminated tanks, contaminated gas, low quality gas. It goes on and on. The truck stops are the worst, actually. So if you can avoid those, go somewhere else. Another thing, while I'm on that point, if you can get away from the exits, I know a lot of people, I've heard this, people say, well, just gas at the big truck stops right off the exit. Those are the worst ones. Those are the ones with the highest price. Those are the ones with the least quality fuel. They say you get your best prices if you get away from the exits and get away from the city centers. And so if you're maybe a little rural, but let's not get ridiculous, not the BP out in the cow pasture, but get away from town a little bit, get on the outskirts of town or the suburbs of town, get away from the major interstates and the highways. You're going to get your better quality fuel and your better prices. Mostly your better prices. We're going to talk about the quality here in a minute. So those are the ones you want. I got one more. This is always a traveling favorite. Everybody loves Buc-ee's. But guess what? I like Buc-ee's too. I love their restrooms and all the stuff inside the store. I think is overpriced, but I do like it. The sandwiches, they're good, but they're $11 for a sandwich. Like, that's a lot. I think that's a lot. If you're just a big Buc-ee's fan and you're going to throw that $12 down and get your sandwich, you do that. The gas stations, though, the gas is usually cheap or competitive, but it's not top tier. It's lower quality, it meets the minimum EPA standards, and that's not good for your engine, and that's what this clip is about. So we're going to continue. And I was sad to hear that because I like Buc-ee's. They're easy to get in and out. You have 120 gas pumps. There's always one open. So it was easy to navigate the motorhome, pulling the Jeep through the traffic. And Buc-ee's are always busy for that reason, because the gas pumps are cheap. They have clean bathrooms. That's what they're famous for. And everybody loves their barbecue sandwiches and whatever else they got going on inside there. It's all pretty neat. But the marketing ploy, the gas, is to get you in to the store. And that's what a lot of these off-brand, I won't say off-brand, but lower quality gas stations, they're designed to get you into the store and spend money on the stuff in the store, because the markup is really not in the gas because of all the taxes that are levied on gas, but it's really on the products inside the store. That's where they're trying to get you in there. How many people get gas and then they go in the store and they buy a coffee or a Slurpee or a sandwich or some chips or maybe a newspaper, and then they walk out? That's where they get you. is on the convenient items. And we've talked about that in other videos. You're paying for convenience for these higher priced items in these convenience stores when you run in and get that. Oh, here's another pet peeve. So I'm going to step aside, come back in. Pet peeve, you pull up to a gas pump, you either pump or you shop and then you pump, but you block the pump and then you go in and shop. Hate that. Don't do that. Don't be that person. Anyway, if you're gonna shop inside, get off the pump. Pump, then pull out, park, and then go back inside. Is it inconvenient? Maybe a little bit, but open that pump up so other people aren't waiting in the heat, waiting in line to get to a pump. I mean, come on, it's common courtesy. Same thing with putting your grocery carts back in the carousel. Same thing with discharging your grass clippings out into the middle of the street and somebody on a motorcycle hits that and slides out and has an accident. I have almost 700 feet of yard frontage, and I don't have my grass clippings going out into the street. So I know other people can do it too. You can turn it out, or you can catch it, or you can blow it off. Those are my pet peeves. I'll step back. Getting back on topic. Things you can do. Gas Buddy. Gas Buddy's a good app tool to find gas stations in your area, but take the information with a grain of salt, because many times I have found this false. I was pretty upset one time that I found a false thing, because I actually went into Winchester instead of Tullahoma for the specific purpose of getting gas, to find out that the manager, the owner of the gas station, or the manager, had posted a price for regular, but I was buying premium for that Miata because it requires it. And they had the same price posted on all three gas grades. And so I was a little upset because it's not accurate. So a lot of times the Gas Buddy information is not accurate. So don't do like I did and travel out of your way to go try to save 60 cents on gas, and then you get there and find out that it's not 60 cents cheaper, but maybe 5 cents cheaper. Fortunately, in this case, Winchester's a little closer to us than Tullahoma, so it wasn't a big deal. But I was upset because I had made plans to go there to get that gas because of that price, and the price was wrong. So, another good tip for good gas is try not to let your gas gauge get below half a tank. You never know when you're going to get stuck in traffic, especially if you live in a city. And that gas runs down, you got your air conditioner on, and I know right now it is blazing hot across the Midwest. I think we've been up in the mid to upper 90s with humidity here in Tennessee for about a week now, and it's hot. And other places are hot too. So, yeah, you don't want to be stuck running out of gas on a highway, believe me. So that's something else to look at. A quick mention, tire pressure has a big factor on your fuel efficiency. Make sure that your tires are inflated to the proper rating, and it's not the rating that's on the tire, that's the maximum safe cold PSI or pressure regulating. You want to go by the door jamb. That's what you go by on your vehicle to let you know what that car, because it considers the weight of the car, the balance of the car, not just the tire off, the tire itself. That's what it's rated at, because that's how they built the tire. The label on your car factors in the car itself and that tire. So go by that. You don't want to overinflate either, because then as you drive on this hot pavement in the summertime, the temperature of your tires is going to go up, so the pressure is going to go up. So you don't want your highest pressure to exceed that number stamped on your tire. So that's what that's for. That's a safety concern. It could blow out. Just use that PSI that's on your vehicle. The little decal that's on your door. It's usually on your door. So you open up your door, you can see it on there. So go by that. If your car, let's talk about premium gas a little bit. I have two vehicles that require premium gas, and you're saying you don't have to put premium in there. Well, it's not going to burn efficiently if you don't. And I'll tell you what, it's been my finding, because when we first got the Miata, we were putting regular gas in there, and I was getting about 37 miles per gallon, and that was good. I was happy with that. But guess what? I started running premium from a top tier gas station, and I'm getting 40 to 42 now. So I'm getting 3 to 5 more miles per gallon on the better gas now that I have the gas in there that it does cost. I didn't know the Miata required premium gas. That was I didn't look at that. I didn't really care. I didn't see it. And then I started digging into it and I looked at it, oh my gosh, the Miata requires premium gas. So I get the premium gas for that. And the other vehicle is the motorcycle. It also requires a premium, or it calls for 90 octane and above. If you can find a pump that has 91 octane, then that's fine. You've met the standard. Most are 87, 89, and then 93. So you end up having to buy the premium gas in order to make the 90 octane. That's just, I don't know why it is like that, but it just is. But it's okay. I don't mind paying. A lot of you say, I'm cheap, Brett. Why don't you spend money? Why don't you buy this for your wife? Look, I'll spend money where I think money should be spent. I will invest in better gas because it gives me better efficiency. It's going to take care of my motor, which is going to take care of me longer. That's an investment. I will pay for that. I got no problem with that. So I like to put my money where the money counts. So that's what I do. I used to buy cheap gas. I used to buy the cheapest stuff. I didn't think it made any difference until I started looking into it, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I didn't know. I had no idea. And you know what? Diesel, let's talk diesel. Diesel doesn't have the octane rating, but diesel has additives in it as well. So when we're talking top tier gas versus the cheaper gas stations, these additives clean your engine, and these additives are on every grade of gas, including diesel. So it doesn't matter what the grade of gas is. It doesn't matter if it's 87 octane, 90 octane, 93 octane, or some stations have higher rated octane. They have like almost racing fuel. All of them have the same additives if you're at all of them have the same additives regardless. But you have the minimum EPA standards, and then you have what they call top tier fuels, and every grade of gas has the same quality of additives. That's what I'm trying to say. So if your car does not require premium, skip it. You don't have to put premium in a car that doesn't ask for it. If the manufacturer says run 87 octane, run 87 octane. If you're running premium gas, it's not going to be any better. You're just wasting your money. The premium, those cars that call for premium gas, it's because they've been mapped for premium gas. They've been mapped for that higher octane. Usually those are sports cars or higher pressure fueled cars. Like the fuel rail runs on a higher pressure. And so the injection and all of that is computer runs it, and it can sense that higher octane. Now some of the really new cars, in fact the Miata does it too, based on the octane rating that it detects on the fuel, it will actually self-adjust. So if it detects 87 octane gas, it'll say, oh okay, I need to remap. And the digital electronics, it's all invisible to the driver, but it will remap for the 87 octane, but you're not going to get the same quality. You're not going to get the same burn, you're not going to get the same efficiency, and you're not going to get you do get the same detergents cleaning your car. That's the same. But you're not going to get the same performance. So, I don't know. It's only a few cents more, usually 30 cents more. But there's some tricks to that too. And we're going to get to that. Okay, I think we've talked about most of these. Okay, BP and Amoco. BP, I believe, bought out Amoco, or Amoco, I think, yeah, Amoco. BP bought out Amoco. Amoco got rebranded. And since 2020, they left the top tier status of fuels, and now they no longer have a third party come in and test their fuels. They say that they're still top tier, but they're just not paying to have someone come and test their fuels. So if you trust the manufacturer saying that their stuff is approved, but you don't have a third party saying it's top tier, that's up to you if you want to trust it or not. If you think BP's running top tier gas, then consider them a top tier fuel source. I did, but I no longer do. because the gas companies are making enough money that they should be paying for these third-party inspections. It's more than just a little decal. It's about detergents and levels that are in them. So if you care about your gas, I would skip BP because there's better options anyway. The closest gas station to us is a BP, by the way, and it's a really nice BP station. I do go there typically. I used to go there to get my non-ethanol gas, and we can talk about non-ethanol too. So non-ethanol is usually used in marine boat gas, or marine gas they call it down in Florida. You don't want to put ethanol in your boat. Some people do, and they say it's fine. My boat doesn't sit. I'm on the lake all the time, running the rivers, whatever. It's not, it still matters because it's the rubbers and the fuel line hoses and all of that stuff on the boats. They're not built to the same quality that a car is. They're built for marine. So use non-ethanol gas in your boats. Use non-ethanol gas. I do it in my lawnmower too. Now my lawnmowers don't, and chainsaws and weed eaters don't require it. However, if it's sitting for a while, there's less gumming. You have less residue settle. Like if you're not using your lawnmower every week or at least once a month, then that gas is going to sit in there. And if it's got ethanol in there, that stuff's going to gum up. I'm not a big fan of ethanol. I don't think it was designed to be put into engines. I know there are some that do. But back in the day, they didn't ever have ethanol. And now they're running ethanol. You get less power with ethanol. You get less performance. You save money. That's all you're doing. In fact, if you go to Alaska, they don't even sell ethanol gas. The only thing you're going to get is real gasoline. That's all they sell. So, you know. Okay, let's get to the good gas station, shall we? All right, so the best, I'm going to start at the lower tier. I'm going to give you the two honorable mentions first. I don't know that they're top tier. I couldn't validate or find certifications or verifications that they were top tier, but they were really good because they're smaller stations. The tanks are filled up more frequently, and so you don't have sediment sitting in the tanks at the stations. And the consistency of the quality of fuel, by those who investigate fuel, they said they were good fuel. Now, I don't know their top tier. So I'm going to mention these two as an honorable mention. That's QT or Quick Stop. I think it's QT and Texaco. I haven't seen a lot of Texaco in years, but if you do run across one, they're considered good. QT is good. But let's just move right on to the top tier. Top tier is really where you should be spending your money. Now I'm going to tell you the difference in price. I priced it today. The Murphy's in Tullahoma is selling regular gas for $3.66 a gallon. That's the lower tier 87 octane gas for $3.66. It's going to have the EPA minimum standards for detergent quality gas. Okay, it's not top tier. I'm comparing it to the number one top tier gas station. I'll just give it to you straight up. Is Shell. Shell is number one in additives and performance and quality of gas. Now it doesn't matter which grade of gas you get, 87, 89, or 93. They all have the best quality of gas, or they all have the detergents. It's just the different, if your car requires premium, then use the premium. Now, I want to tell you with the app, if you use the app with the Shell and you tie in your bank card with it, then you get discounts. And the discounts can be lower than the gas at the discounted gas stations. So you can actually, if you're smart about it, you can get the premium gas, top tier, cheaper or the same price as the bottom quality gas. You can. And I think Shell does a really good job of that. There are others, and I'm going to mention those. I'll mention them right now. Let's just hit it. Chevron with Techron is really good top tier gas, considered top tier. Costco, shocker, is Kirkland gas. They are a top tier gas station. Can you believe it? So if you live near a Costco, your membership alone would be worth getting the gas at Costco. Now you may be dealing with lines, especially in the evenings and weekends. You'll deal with lines getting to the pump. But if you're trying to get a high quality gas at the best price, I'm going to say Costco checks the block. We just don't live close enough to one. Mobil One or Mobil Exxon. Mobil, sometimes it's the same thing. Mobil is a good top tier gas station, as is Exxon. Exxon has been in business for 140 years. They've been doing fuel. They do their own fuel. They add all the additives to it. So I would say Exxon is your number 2. I would say Chevron's your number 3. Mobil, Costco maybe number 5, but they're all great. They're all great. Number 1, I like Shell, and I'll tell you why. I like the app. Exxon has their own app, and I'll tell you I haven't really played with it. I don't know how their app works. I haven't played with it. So I had to pick one. And my findings, all the videos that I saw put Shell as their number 1 choice. And I loaded their app, and Teresa's had their app before. She used to use Shell gas. And you can actually, you're going to get 5 cents off per gallon. So that 366 that I mentioned at Murphy's, right here, right now, today, as I checked on Gas Buddy, Shell sells it for $3.72. That's only a difference of 6 cents. But you automatically get 5 cents off just for being a member of Shell. If you load the app, you get 5 cents off. So that makes it now 1 cent more than the Murphy's. Would you not pay 1 cent per gallon more if it was going to be better gas for your engine? More efficiency, you're going to get the money back because you're saving fuel because you're using less of it. So you get this money, the savings back. In fact, it might be cheaper in this case. It's only a 6 cent differential. But you can also earn rewards through the app. There's gold status, silver status, and if you buy, and it's not, you're going to buy it anyway because you have all the way to the end of the year, I think it is. The end of December, I have to have made 10 visits to the gas station. That's easy. A visit to get maximum benefits for Shell, you have to buy 10 gallons. Now the car barely holds 10 gallons, so I have to be on fumes. So what I did to maximize is I bought a little 2-gallon gas can and I put it in the trunk. So when I run around and I get below a quarter tank and I go gas up, I can put 8 in the car and 2 in the back in the gas can, and I've got my 10 gallons, and I get 2 stickers because it's premium gas. You get double the bonus stickers. And once you get all the stickers all the way across the little app, I think there's 10 of them, and you get double for premium gas. So I'm not spending any more money. This is premium gas I'd be buying anyway. Then you save more. You can save 10 cents a gallon, 20 cents a gallon, and even 30 cents a gallon. Who doesn't want to buy gas at 30 cents off the pump price? You're going to be well below any other gas station, even the cheap gas stations around. You're going to be cheaper. So, and even your diesel fuel has these additives in it. So, excuse me, go look at those videos, go check them out. You can look up octane ratings for gas. Oh, here's an interesting point. You know those new Mercedes vans you've heard us talk about that the post office uses? Guess what? They are required to put premium gas in those things. And you're thinking, what? Why are they running premium? Because they're Mercedes engines. And that's top tier, right? Mercedes. So they're going to require the top tier gas. But guess what? The post office does not want you to put premium gas in those cars. So what's going to happen? You're going to put regular 87 octane in those cars, and they're not going to last very long. They might be new enough that they remap to the 87 octane, so they'll run fine. But postal workers are not putting the top tier gas in those cars because they don't care. It's not their car. They're not going to be there long enough. Mainly, it's not their car. It's like a rental car. So they're going to drive the crap out of it. They're going, they're heavy on the brakes, heavy on the gas pedal. They're trying to get home, trying to deliver the mail. And a lot of those vans, they're going to start breaking down in 5-10 years, I think. They're not even going to make it. So maybe 87 is the way to go because nobody takes care of them. So why they bought Mercedes, why would you buy a Mercedes car? I mean, I don't understand it. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic. So I think I got all my notes. I went over them. I think I got everything. If you have any questions about this, you can always drop an email at madammayorsadventures@gmail.com, or if you just, I don't know, I found it interesting. I like looking up ways to save money, so that's what I'm doing. So this video is about a half an hour. I didn't expect it to be that long, so we'll go ahead and wrap this up. But hey, I think it's a worthwhile investment to pay the little extra money for the top tier gas. So your top tier gas stations are Chevron, Costco, Mobil One or Mobil, Exxon, and Shell. And you can go play, any one of those. It doesn't matter which one, but they're all better than these others I mentioned. Safeway, Kroger's, they deal in high volume. They're just trying to get you in the store. Fuel Rewards at Murphy's is trying to get you into Walmart. The Fuel Rewards at Kroger's is trying to get you into Kroger's. But it's very low quality gas, and your car is going to suffer for it. It's going to suffer efficiency. It could mechanically break down if you have an older car. Some of these top tier gas stations might actually improve the performance of your engine. Shell and Exxon are known to clean your engine, and those deposits over time will go down and your car will become more efficient. I noticed in the Miata. Now the Miata is not old. There's less than 12,000 miles on it. But I noticed a difference between running the 87 when I was accidentally doing it and running the premium. Oh my goodness, it's so much better. Not only is it more responsive, but the fuel efficiency the fuel mileage is much better. So anyway, consider top tier gas over the low budget gas. Again, if you trade your car every 2 years, it probably doesn't matter to you. If you think gas is gas, then you just do your thing. But I'm here to tell you that I've researched this quite a bit, and you can do your own research. Paying a little bit more for top tier gas, and not always do you pay more. Not always. But the general consensus is you pay about 10 cents more per gallon for the higher quality gas. And over a normal 12,000 mile per year driver, your savings are only about $12 a year. Wouldn't you invest that in an engine if it would give you 3 more years of life? I certainly would. Those are just numbers I'm throwing out there based on my data. Hope you enjoyed this video. It was basically another way to invest money in order to save money in the long end. Lower repairs, maybe no repairs, clean your engine, cleans your valves, your intake, cleans your, what was the other part? The fuel injectors. Most of these new cars are fuel injected, so it keeps those clean. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a great evening. We'll catch you next time on Madam Mayor's Adventures.